December 15, 2023, News Report 1, Taiwan Election Countdown, 9 days left, Han Kuo-yu's assets revealed. On the 9th day before the Taiwan election on December 15, Taiwan's Central Election Commission disclosed the financial assets of legislative candidates, drawing attention to the assets of Han Kuo-yu, the representative of the Kuomintang, KMT, and former mayor of Kaohsiung. According to the released information, Han Kuo-yu's assets include 11.5 million new Taiwan dollars in deposits, 11 million new Taiwan dollars in securities investment, a house, and 5 plots of land. Compared to his 1997 deposit of 170,000 new Taiwan dollars, Han Kuo-yu's deposits have increased 66 times, highlighting the wealth accumulated by high-ranking KMT members in their political careers. Among other KMT legislative candidates, the founder of Antai Hospital, Su Qingchuan, possesses assets exceeding 500 million new Taiwan dollars, more than 10 times that of Han Kuo-yu. In the new Taipei Zhanghe constituency, KMT legislative candidate Zhang Zhiluan has substantial assets, including 40 plots of land and 12 properties, presenting a significant wealth gap compared to his Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, opponent Wu Zhenkai. News Report 2, Chinese Ministry of Commerce releases investigation results on Taiwan trade barriers. On December 15, the Chinese Ministry of Commerce published the results of its investigation into trade barriers imposed by Taiwan, stating that Taiwan prohibits the import of 2,509 products from mainland China, constituting a trade barrier. The specific actions that the Chinese Ministry of Commerce will take remain unclear. A spokesperson for China's Taiwan Affairs Office, Zhu Fenglian, expressed support for the consideration of related measures. Meanwhile, DPP Representative Liu Shifang viewed this as an attempt to intimidate Taiwanese voters, asserting that China's focus on economic issues before the elections is a typical approach with no expected significant impact. Media generally speculate that China may take further actions based on the results of the Taiwan elections, but no official stance has been clarified yet. News Report 3, Beijing Subway Chongping Line Train Accident Follow-up. On the afternoon of December 14, a train accident occurred on Beijing's Chongping Line, resulting in 515 people sent for medical examination, including 102 with fractures. As of December 15, 25 individuals remain under medical observation, and 67 are hospitalized. Although a severe incident, Chinese official media described it as minor and did not report casualties in any official statements. Video footage showed the train operator in critical condition, with many passengers unconscious, including a pregnant woman unable to stand. However, official reports did not mention these severe circumstances. Regarding the accident's cause, two conflicting versions have emerged. The Beijing Municipal Transportation Commission stated on December 15 that the accident was due to slippery tracks in snowy weather, leading to signal degradation and emergency braking of the front train, resulting in a rear-end collision. In contrast, Beijing Subway's Weibo report on the night of December 14 claimed the last two cars of the Chongping Line train separated from the front, without mentioning a rear-end collision. The different narratives have sparked controversy, with suspicions that there may be two incidents instead of one. This incident exposed several safety issues in Beijing's subway system, including problems with the signal system and train carriage quality. Whether the accident was a rear-end collision or train separation remains unclear, but it has triggered widespread concerns about the safety measures of Beijing's subway system. News Report 4, U.S. National Security Advisor Sullivan suggests Israel's shift to precision economic military actions. On December 14, U.S. National Security Advisor Sullivan met with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Sullivan recommended that Israel shift from intense airstrikes and ground attacks to more precise, targeted economic military actions. He believed that prolonged conflict would further escalate tensions, making post-Gaza conflict governance more challenging. U.S. officials privately expressed the desire for Israel to end the conflict with Hamas within weeks rather than months, as previously suggested by the Israeli Defense Minister. President Biden, in a press conference, stated that Israel should exercise caution in military operations, emphasizing a focus on saving civilian lives. This statement received some support, advocating for the protection of civilians during the conflict. Sullivan also met with the Palestinian President Abbas and discussed how to safely evacuate hostages from Gaza. He called for a reformed Palestinian Authority to lead the West Bank and Gaza, aiming to achieve unity in both regions. News Report 5, Finland and the U.S. to sign Defense Cooperation Agreement. On December 14, the Finnish government announced in a press release that it would sign a defense cooperation agreement with the U.S. on December 18. According to the agreement, Finland will open 15 regions, including Air Force bases, naval bases, training areas, and warehouses, to the U.S. Additionally, the agreement allows the pre-deployment of U.S. defense equipment and supplies on Finnish territory. Finland, a long and narrow country bordering Russia, shares a 1,340-kilometer border with its eastern neighbor. All of this border is located in the southern part of Finland. Historically neutral during the Cold War, Finland decided to join NATO last year in response to Russia's invasion of Ukraine and officially became NATO's 31st member in April this year. Finland's inclusion poses a nightmare for Russia, as the entire northern region is now part of NATO. The purpose of the defense agreement with the U.S. is to allow U.S. military presence in Finland. Being strategically close to Russia's important northern ports, the presence of U.S. forces holds significant strategic implications for Russia. News Report 6, Japan to deploy Type 12 land-based anti-ship missiles ahead of schedule. According to reports by the Nikkei, on December 15, Japanese Defense Minister Shigeru Ishiba announced during a regular press conference that, in response to China's continuously strengthening military capabilities, Japan's Ministry of Defense has decided to deploy domestically produced long-range ballistic missiles a year earlier, starting from 2015, to ensure counterattack capabilities and enhance deterrence. The missile being deployed ahead of schedule is the upgraded version of Japan's domestically produced Type 12 land-based anti-ship missile, with its range increased from 200 kilometers to 1,000 kilometers. Currently deployed in Hokkaido, Aomori Prefecture, and Tokushima Prefecture, it will also be deployed in Okinawa and Oita Prefecture next year. In the future, all forces will be equipped with this long-range ballistic missile. With a range of 800 kilometers from the Okinawa line to the northernmost tip of Taiwan, this missile allows the coverage of the entire Taiwan region, including its waters. This marks a crucial weapon in support of Taiwan. News Report 9, Pinduoduo International version Temu files lawsuit in U.S. courts. According to reports from Nikkei, on December 13, Pinduoduo International's version Temu filed a lawsuit in the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, accusing its competitor SHN of demanding suppliers to stop cooperating with Temu or face penalties. Temu also alleged that SHN poached its marketing and advertising personnel. Notably, this is not the first time these two companies have engaged in legal battles in U.S. courts. In December of last year, SHN sued Temu, claiming that it had influencers write reviews disparaging SHN. Overall, both companies are embroiled in a so-called mud battle, throwing mud at each other, unable to directly defeat one another but aiming to tarnish the other's image. News Report 7, Delisting of Chinese listed companies and the state of real estate investment trusts, REITs. As of December 14, 47 Chinese companies have been delisted from the stock market this year. Among them, 10 were delisted for fraudulent issuance, involving providing false business and material information and engaging in financial fraud, leading to compulsory delisting. The STAR market also saw its first batch of delisted companies, including those involved in serious illegal activities such as fraudulent issuance, like Zeta Purple Gold, among others. This situation brings to mind the long-standing dispute between China and the US over the auditing of Chinese-listed companies, the so-called Chinese concept stocks. The US insists that its approach is correct because China's accounting fraud is severe, with some of the most serious cases yet to be exposed, partly due to national security concerns that prohibit open inspections. Additionally, data from the China Securities Index Company shows that 90% of real estate investment trusts, REITs, in China have fallen below their issue prices. Since December, the average daily trading volume of these funds is less than 400 million yuan. Among the 29 public REITs, only Jingbao, Lingang, and Dongjiu maintain slight positive returns, while the rest have all fallen below their issue prices. Huaxia China Communications High Speed has the largest decline, reaching 50%. Real estate investment trusts, once favored by investors in China in 2021, are now experiencing a decline in the market. News Report 8: Multiple traffic accidents in northern China due to snowfall. Due to the invasion of cold air, a series of traffic accidents occurred in northern China. On December 10, a 40-vehicle collision occurred on the highways of Pujiang University, Lini County in Shaanxi, and Xinzhou City in Shaanxi, causing 1 death and 6 injuries. Video footage showed the accident site with many crashed vehicles, some almost completely destroyed, and bloodstains on the scene. A diesel tanker leaked slightly. Injured individuals awaited rescue in the cold wind. Simultaneously, Beijing experienced multiple traffic accidents due to snowfall. On December 10, a small passenger car slid on the slippery road and collided with a green belt, then hit the guardrail of the moat. On December 13, a 3-car chain collision occurred on Beiyuan East Road, damaging the median strip and guardrail. These accidents once again brought attention to the level of urban traffic operation. In comparison, the traffic operation level in cold regions like the United States is higher, with mature experience in dealing with snowy weather. News Report 9: Cold wave hits Guangdong, significant temperature drop in Jiangnan and South China. As of December 15, the China Meteorological Administration continued to issue the highest-level cold wave orange warning and strong wind blue warning. Cold air has crossed the Nanling Mountains and entered Guangdong on December 16, causing a significant temperature drop of 20 degrees in one day. Under the influence of this cold wave, on December 15 and 16, most areas in Jiangnan and South China will experience a temperature drop of 14 to 16 degrees. The most significant temperature drop will occur in the eastern part of Guizhou and the eastern part of Jiangnan. In Guangdong, the temperature in Guangzhou dropped from 27 degrees to 16 degrees on the 15th, Shenzhen dropped from 28 degrees to 9 degrees, and Hong Kong dropped from 30 degrees to 12 degrees. Beijing Meteorological Observatory stated that on December 15, the highest temperature in Beijing was -3 degrees, and the lowest temperature is expected to drop to -7 degrees on the 16th, with the lowest temperature below -16 degrees. Xi Jinping issued instructions once again at this time, a common occurrence where he typically issues brief written instructions, leaving actual work to subordinates. News Report 10: U.S. CDC issues warning, surge in respiratory diseases, hospitalizations for respiratory viruses and flu increase by 60%. On December 14, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, issued an urgent warning. According to the warning, hospitalizations for influenza have doubled across all age groups in the past 4 weeks, hospitalizations for respiratory virus infections have increased by 60%, and hospitalizations for COVID-19 have increased by 51%. The CDC stated that due to low vaccination rates and the continuous increase in respiratory disease infections, the coming weeks may lead to more severe illnesses. As of now, only 16% of people aged 60 and above have received the vaccine for respiratory viruses, and 36% of those aged 65 and above have received the COVID-19 vaccine. The CDC urgently called on medical institutions to rapidly increase the vaccination rates for respiratory viruses, influenza, and COVID-19. They emphasized the importance of vaccination and hoped that everyone would get vaccinated as much as possible to reduce the risk of disease spread and development. News Report 11, Jimmy Lai's Hong Kong national security law case to be heard on December 18. According to Radio Free Asia, the West Kowloon Court in Hong Kong will hear the Hong Kong version of the national security law case against Jimmy Lai, the founder of One Weekly, on December 18. The expected trial duration is 80 days. Jimmy Lai is charged with conspiring to collude with foreign forces to endanger national security and publishing seditious publications. The case was originally scheduled for a hearing in December last year, but the Hong Kong government kept postponing, and it wasn't until December this year that the trial began. Jimmy Lai has been imprisoned for 3 years prior to this. Jimmy Lai had applied for the court to allow the trial to be broadcast on television but was denied. The Hong Kong government's delay has attracted global attention, making it a focal point of international concern. In response, the police force will deploy more personnel to patrol around the court to ensure safety. In addition, in yesterday's bulletin, the Hong Kong Civil Affairs Department published incorrect elderly information. There are 280 million people aged 60 and above nationwide, accounting for 19.8% of the total population. The elderly dependency ratio for those aged 65 and above is 21.8, meaning 5 people support one elderly person.